Hi, this is Cheryl St.Pierre of Majestic Wire Artworks. In this video, I am making this pretty pendant, and I call it the Twisted C-Wrap Pendant. And I'm using items from my Beebeecraft package that I just received. And isn't that pretty? And that's what we're making today. Okay, so what you're gonna need is you're going to need some twisted wire. This is permanently colored wire, so it's silver plated, and then it's got an acrylic or enameled coating baked on top, and so it won't tarnish, and it won't it lasts a long time. I've had some pieces like this with wire like this, and they're 10 years old and they're still not tarnished. I mean, it depends on how you wear them and how much they get scratched or something, but it usually lasts a pretty long time. So what you're going to need is an 8-inch piece of twisted wire. Now this is 22 gauge, and this was the largest gauge they had. I would probably prefer a 20 gauge, but we're working with the 22. It's I've double wrapped the bail to make it stronger. It has some flexibility because it is finer, but you know what? It still it works. Okay, and then I'm also using these beautiful morganite beads, which are a pale pink, white, and blue, and I'm going to use one of each color. And hopefully I'm going to put the pink in the middle and the white. The white looks a little bit bluish, but then the blue is darker blue. So I'm going to put them on in this order. I think will be the prettiest, just to contrast the different colors of morganites. There's quite a bit out there. The most common one to find is pink morganite, and that's believe it or not, this is pink morganite too. It's just a darker pink. So I'm not sure if this was color enhanced. I don't know enough about morganite to tell you that, but it's a beautiful stone. It kind of looks like quartz in a way, but a little bit different. So it's got a little bit more character to it. And so we're gonna go ahead and start this. And I'm just gonna make some modifications to the design to cater to the fact that it is a fairly flimsy wire. I mean, delicate is maybe more the word. So the reason why I wanted twisted wire was because if I just used plain wire, it'd be a little bit boring. So the twistedness actually gives it character and brings it to life. And you know, square wire does this as well. And if you're going to use square wire, I would recommend 20 gauge. And sterling silver would look nice too, but this is a nice alternative to sterling silver because it is silver plated, so it's the right color, and it's not going to tarnish on you, and it's got some good wearability to it. So I want you to take your 8-inch piece of this wire, and I want you to bend it at 3 inches. And I want it to be a 90-degree bend, fairly sharp, easy enough to do with your fingers. And then the next thing I want you to do is the bead that you want on the bottom, put it on first. So I'm doing my darker blue bead. And I apologize for my voice. It tends to come and go because I got over a nasty cold. Okay, and I want you to wrap around your bead as tight as possible. Okay, and then wrap once around the wire. And this is the short wire, so we put the bead on the longer wire. I recommend seeing the whole video before attempting it, just in case I haven't stated something. I wouldn't want something to go wrong for you. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to introduce the pink bead onto the longer wire. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to wrap, and it's going to wrap around the opposite side. So right on the side of the bead, as tight as you can, hold it in place and wrap around the wire. If you have to flip it around with your fingers like that, that's okay. And then you want to make the wire level so that it looks like one continuous wire wrapping around that. See how with the twistedness it just blends together and it looks like it's just one wire. It's got that optical illusion to it. And the next thing we're going to do is introduce the white bead. And I'm not sure if I mentioned that these are 8mm beads. Smaller beads would work too with this, especially with this wire. It probably work better with the smaller bead, but I wanted to use this morganite. It's gorgeous. They're gorgeous beads. Okay, there we go. Very happy with them. Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is decide how much of a stem you want your bale to have. And we're going to take this tail here and we're going to wrap around the wire, and this like this. And this is going to help make our bale stronger, because we're going to wrap this up, snip it off, then we're going to make our loop and wrap down over top of it, so it's going to have the double wrapping. Okay, so I'm thinking that as long as I want it, I've got six wraps there. And now I'm going to snip it off, crimp it in as neat as I can. Okay. And now, because this is fairly delicate wire, for the bale, I'm going to give it a really tiny loop. As smallest bale that I have made with an item, and that's just because it's gonna give it more strength, because the smaller a circle is, the more sturdy it is. So I'm going to flip it over to the back, and I'm gonna support the wrapping here with my finger, and I'm gonna bend this right at the edge of the wrap. And I'm going to make a fairly, I would say this loop is going to be 2.5mm in diameter. So fairly small. And wrap twice. Okay, so it's fairly small. So we're going to have a fairly delicate chain for this. I mean, it is a delicate necklace anyways, so a delicate chain just makes sense. And now neatly wrap over top of the other wrapping, and it's making it stronger. And we go right down. Okay, so we've got the front. Got the end at the back. We're going to snip it off as close as possible and crimp it in very carefully. So, yeah, nice and neat. And now we're going to make sure the bale is straight. We're going to spread this loop apart to give it that look. And there. So the main look of this bale is the wrap right there. It's just going to add to it. and it's going to have a fine chain going through. And there is that beautiful, beautiful pendant. Okay, thank you for joining me in this video. Thank you, Beebeecraft, for these beautiful beads and wire. And God bless, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.